So the thing about exposing the narcissist is that you really don't know how hard it is for the victim to do that because not only we have to relive our trauma, that person is a liar. We all know they're liars, right? And as someone who's tried to expose them as much as I could, like just tell the truth, people will still, like other toxic people or people who want to hurt you will still be like, oh, well, they're not that bad. Or, oh, just get over it. Or, can't you just put it behind you? Even they could do the most heinous things to you. They will still say these things to you. So it's just like people like, or the narcissist will literally lie. And you know what's crazy? In my situation, my abusers, they'll get caught in lies and people will still try to justify it. But what I've learned and what I've always knew is that the people who justify it usually have animosity towards you, like for some reason. And in my situation, I didn't do anything, like I wasn't bothering these people, but they had animosity towards me. And for some reason, they have like a little bit of sadism in them, like they are sadistic. They want to see other people in pain. It makes them feel better about the situation. I don't understand how, but it makes them feel better about what they have going on, which is like really sad that these things make them happy. But everyone has their own temperament, and I'm never gonna understand it. Um, and that's just that. I'm just never gonna understand or be able to grasp why they feel pleasure over making other people feel negative or throwing it in your face that you're being abused. Because I've had people actually do that to me and think it's funny. I've had people laugh in my face about people hurting me, and I'm just like, what did I ever do to you for you to feel this way or to think that this is like a good thing that's happened to me? It could be people I know or don't know. And people will go so far out of their way. They'll try to buddy up to you to get you to not expose them or to not expose the narcissist that they don't want to expose them. And that's the craziest thing about these things. Like, you're not gonna silence me. I don't care. And they'll try to. I notice they'll do this with other people. They'll try to call them liars and all that. And like, we can see through it. I'm so proud of us. In today's like, no, we can see through what you're doing. Truth tellers aren't gonna be silenced. We can see through what you're doing, and we're gonna stick together because no, absolutely not. If you didn't want someone talking about what you did, you shouldn't have done it. Then of course they're gonna hit you with the, "Okay, just let it go. That was so long ago." But was it? And there's not a time frame on when I or anyone else chooses to tell their story. We tell our stories when we're ready to. And it's not like for me, I tried to tell it then, and they tried to silence me then. Like, oh, I was just mad. No, you were just mad so you did something evil to me? Absolutely not. You were just mad, so you try to turn everyone against me so they wouldn't believe me when I told the truth. But the thing is, the truth will always be the truth, and a lie will always be the lie. It doesn't matter how much you want to pretend it is not the truth. It will always come out. Because when they want narcissists, they can't help themselves, and they always end up betraying the people around them. They always end up being their very true selves to those people too. It will always slip out. That mask will always slip. So I've always been a truth teller, whether people believe me or not. It didn't matter to me because eventually it always came out that I was never lying, I was never it. And people will look back and be like, you were telling me the truth. I'm so sorry." And I'll be like, "I know that." I mean, I don't really want a relationship with that person anymore because who who are you guys to lie to? Like, what do I gain from lying about these things? No one wants to experience these things. My abusers went so far to say, "Nobody will believe you when you're older. We have to do it to you when you're younger." Like, they literally said that to me. I'm gonna name them Cruella and Crackhead, and they were a married couple, and they literally did, like, they were so vile and evil to me. And I'm gonna be doing I'm gonna tell everything, all the stories that I can remember. It's so much to happen to me, and not just to me, it happened to other people too. But I'm going to delve into that because this is my form of therapy. It's just getting off my chest because I'm tired of being silenced. And I am tired of, I've realized that they would separate me from people who actually had my best interest in heart, and they would keep me around people who were just like them. So I felt like I was going insane. Like I literally felt like, why is everyone around me like this? But now I get it. And I'm not afraid to tell what really happened to me. I just hope that no one is afraid to say what happened to them and everyone keeps telling their story. Like, do not stop. Like, just tell your truth. Just speak. Like, no one, you owe no one anything. But I want to give a special shout out and thank you to Dr. Romney, Dr. Tracy, all the people who keep us informed on these things and like help us, the general public, understand them. Because I genuinely just thought narcissists were people who were self-centered. I didn't know they were insecure. I'm like, I used to literally defend them like, oh no, aren't like narcissists aren't all that bad. All they do is care about themselves. Why is that such a bad thing? Let them be them. Like I just thought it was like somebody who was like, very into self. I didn't realize narcissists were the ones who were insecure projecting on other people because I will always question it. Like, what is this? Like, I know that there's got to be a name for it because I love psychology. I'm like, there's got to be a name for this. When I realized it, I was I didn't know how deep narcissism went. It like all hit me like a ton of bricks. I'm like, oh my goodness. No one ever said that to me. Like, no, I would read about it. No one, like, it never said, oh, these people are insecure. It never said that. All it said was they were self-centered. And I'm like, okay, they can be self-centered all they want to. That has nothing to do with me. But to project your insecurities, to be jealous, try to take down other people or smear campaign them and all this stuff. Everything that I was going through, oh God, the smear campaigns. That's really the reason why a lot of people are afraid to expose the narcissist because they know narcissists will try to get ahead of you, exposing them by smearing you. And anybody who believes it, and I'm not saying there's some people who are like precautious with you, but a lot of people will come to me like, I don't believe you're like that. And I'm like, well, you know me and you be the judge of that because I'm gonna be myself every day, good, bad, the pretty, the ugly, all of it, because I can't change who I am to appease others. I could just be the best version of myself. So narcissists can take their smear campaigns and have a field day with it, but real people aren't gonna believe it. Real people are gonna figure out for themselves who you are. Another reason, like their whole Everyone's reason why it's hard to like expose them or people feel like it's hard to expose them is because their whole victim complex of like, oh yes, I know I was wrong, but I'm just jealous. Like they will lead with the fact that they're jealous and that's crazy to me. Like they're just open like, oh yeah, I'm jealous, but like, okay, but that doesn't make what you're doing right. Like, yeah, you admitted what you did. I mean, what you are, which is jealous, but that doesn't give you the right to attack people or to lash out at people. Deal with that on your own time. Like, that's no one else's problem. I had a stranger tell me, like, they were being really weird and, like, I could tell they were, like, mean girlish, so I was just trying to ignore them. And then he was like, I'm sorry, you just intimidate me. And I'm just like, well, okay, but, like, I don't even get why because we don't know each other. We're just at, like, this random event. Why are you even bothering me? Like, I'm not bothering you. Just leave me alone. And they just, like, well, I don't know, they just stood there and just was staring at me. And I'm just like, this is so uncomfortable. Like, I don't know what to do. And that's just like that. I don't think they can, like Dr. Browning said, like, I don't think they can truthfully answer why it is that they're doing what they're doing because I think it's because they're embarrassed, which really agitates me, I'm not gonna lie. Because it's like you're sitting here doing all this and you're making everyone else uncomfortable, but you don't have nothing to say. You just sit there with like a stupid look on your face. It's almost like they look like they're in shock when they're the ones doing something wrong. I don't get that. Like, you're the one doing something wrong. Why are you looking like you're in shock? What is there to be in shock about? And I will often tell this to them, like, you know right from wrong. Stop it. Like, it's that simple. Stop doing what you're doing. And they'll be like, well, if you knew that I was insecure, why couldn't you just let me do it? I'm just like, it's something like, what? How can you, like, if you're exposing these people, but they're actively still playing the victim. It's so obnoxious, man. It's so obnoxious. And oftentimes, I know I don't know what to do. I just be sitting there like, something's wrong with you, and try to get out of the situation. So all I'm gonna do is just tell what happened to me. That's it. Because honestly, I'm not in the business of trying to figure them out or fix them. I mean, I'm not trying to fix them, but everyone deserves the right to tell what happened to them and what traumatized them. So that's all I'm gonna do. And just remember, anyone who tries to silence you is also a toxic person, because that's not a normal reaction to you talking about what hurt you, what traumatized you, what happened to you. That's not a normal reaction. It's for someone to try to stop you from speaking on the abuse you endured. Why would a healthy person want you to not speak and tell the truth? No healthy person would want that. I knew that the enablers were just as toxic when they told me not that I shouldn't be watching Dr. Romney. I knew right then, like, there's no thank you, because you just told me everything I need to know. Like, all the doubts I had, I knew in that instance that no, this person is exactly who I think they are. Then they rolled their eyes when I said that that's exactly what Dr. Romney said they would say. They literally rolled their eyes with an attitude. I was like, yep, yep. You just solidified everything I needed to know. Thank you. But I wish him the best. But I'm still gonna say what happened to me and my story, because this is what I experienced and I want to talk about it. And no one has the right to tell me I'm not allowed to speak on my story, or that anyone else isn't allowed to speak on their story. That's inhumane to expect people to sit in silence after they've gone through horrendous events.